live stream today. Thank you so much. I was having some technical difficulties not too long ago, so hopefully I don't encounter that again. But thank you guys so much. Happy Friday to all of you here on the Mindset Elevator. Thank you guys for supporting the streams. Thank you guys for supporting, watching the streams, watching the videos. Really appreciate it. And I always enjoy being here and, just connecting with all of you. It's always humbly appreciated. And I hope all is well with each and every single one of you, okay? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in. I was having some technical difficulties a little bit earlier. I hope that doesn't happen again. That was a little bit bizarre. But if it happens, I'll make a comment in the in the community posts. But I just started. I tried to I tried to join the stream and it did not let me do it. So maybe some the energy might be a little bit interesting tonight for sure. Hi everybody. Thank you for being here. Hey Don, hey David, hey Yvette, hey Kenyetta, hey Swish Tapes, hey India, hey Jose, hey Josh. Hope you guys are feeling fine, feeling great. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm always thankful. Swish says San Francisco. You're from San Francisco. Welcome from San Francisco, of course. Thank you. Hey Manolo, thank you so much. I'm going to get into it, guys, today, because it's a little bit eerie to me for sure when it has come to my attention, right, that there was one-sided competition that was being formulated right under my nose that I didn't ask to be a participant of or for. And, it's very unnerving when you realize that people are secretly competing with you, secretly trying to one up you, secretly trying to knock you out of the picture, right? Because of something they've manufactured in their own mind. It's a little bit diabolical. It's a little bit concerning, right? Where it could be even the closest people to you that seem to decide at some point of time that they're no longer going to be your favorite cousin or your loving mother or, Cindy from the workplace, right? Or your neighbor across the street. It turns into something darker and competition, they say there's such thing as healthy competition. I don't really know. The lines get blurred very easily, very quickly. It's very, very disturbing when people start competing with you and it is one-sided. There's no merit, there's no reason, there's no rhyme, no reason for why they would decide to try to one up somebody privately or secretly, or what I mean by their lonely. Like, what is this, right? Why is it that people decide to secretly compete with you? Why would they decide that they don't want to work on themselves? Instead, they want to work towards beating you to it or trying to knock you out of the way. What's the intimidation factor here? Where is this really coming from? The thing about it is that a lot of these individuals who do decide to secretly compete with you have been watching you for some time. That's one thing we could be sure of, is that they've been watching you for quite some time, because they must have been some kind of silent hater, right? Somebody who was kind of like laying low, watching you from afar, watching you at work, watching you from across the street. It's really creepy sometimes, right? They could be your blood relative. These people watch you, right? And they've been watching you for a very long time, seeing how you get things done, seeing how you move, seeing how you grind, right? And over time, they decided that who you are is to be competed against. What you are going to come into is something that they themselves should come into instead of you, or at least they should beat you to it so they look more superior than you. These individuals are lurkers. A lot of times they've decided to become, somebody that their lives are no longer satisfactory. Their lives, they're not really digging it too much. And they would much rather have what you have going on, right? They would much rather be in the limelight or be in be the favorable individual as they see you are. They see that you are highly favored, right? So they now want to be highly favored. And in order to do this in their minds, they need to be able to one up you, or to at least, mimic you to a certain degree, fashion themselves to you in a certain way where it appears as though they are the originators, or they're the ones who did it first, or they're the ones who thought of the concept, or whatever it might be. And in all actuality, it's a knockoff of what you've been doing, right? It could be like that. These individuals, one-sided competition is a little bit freaky because as you're out here trying to live your best life, you're not even trying to compete with nobody because you know you're in your own lane. These individuals don't see it like that. They see it like, okay, he's doing well, she's doing well. I gotta do that before them. I gotta beat it to the finish line before they do because I wanna be looked at in the way that I know they're going to be or the way that they already are, right? One-sided competition is also freaky because it's like, to what end? I mean, let's assume that you did not know, right? If you did not know that individuals were competing with you, what are they getting from this without your knowledge, without you understanding that this is what they decided to do, right? If maybe if it was kind of flying over your head, a lot of times it is, where we're not understanding that individuals around us are trying to copy us or they're trying to mimic us or they're trying to beat us to it. A lot of times it does fly over our heads because we're just doing us. We do what we do. We're not really trying to watch other people like how they watch us, right? And so for a time, we could be around folks who are starting to get a little bit frisky, starting to get a little bit jealous, and trying to, they feel like there is this impulsivity. They feel this impulse to cut us out of the picture, to take us out of the picture, and to be the ones who get seen first, or who get served first, or who gets the accolades first. But to what end is the point I'm trying to make? Let's assume if you didn't know, then what are they getting out of this, venture here? What are they getting out of this experience, knocking off your style or copying you, or getting something, you have something, they get it better, or they get a higher brand or a higher quality because you got something that they're trying to compare and contrast themselves to. Like, to what end if you didn't know? What is the point of this? A lot of it is psychological, I would say, where these individuals, they do not think highly of themselves naturally. They do not believe in themselves naturally, but they see you believe in you, right? So once again, it's almost like if they copy you to a T, then maybe they'll have your confidence. Maybe they'll be respected as you are respected. But in order to do this, they feel like they have to kind of mimic you or beat you to it, and they don't want you to know that they're doing this. You could have had, you got your whip, they got their whip, but you could tell everything that you get, they're trying to compete, right? But it's like, initially it may go over our heads that we're not fully realizing that that's what the aim is here. But to what end? One-sided competition is problematic because now we're going to attract a bunch of haters that we didn't even know there was an issue in the first place. A lot of times it's just like that. It's like, when did this energy shift? Why is this person all of a sudden like moving strange now? It's strange. What's with the negativity? What's with, it feels unauthentic. It feels fake after a while when you sit around people, you be around people who, they don't have their own flex. They don't have their own way of doing things. Everything they do is something that they have mimicked from another individual. And the lines get blurred very quickly, very, very quickly. This one-sided competition, secret competition, secretly getting something that they know you have. I've seen that. Individuals who, it's like, when did you get that? It's like you're looking in a mirror. Have you ever had these experiences when you're around people and you know what you've got, you know what you are, you know who you are, and you're around folks who are clearly copying you? It's clear. There's no confusing it. They know how you move and they're moving the exact way as you are, but perhaps they never used to be like that, or perhaps they never used to do that. So it's very noticeable eventually that they're trying to emulate your spirit, or they're trying to copy your lifestyle, hoping that it's going to bring to them what it brings to you. It could be like that for sure. Yep. Right. Yeah, authentic aura says that's what comes with being a chosen one. What can we do? Right. Skylar says they're trying to outdo you without confronting you. That's just it's very unnerving because it's like why do your own thing? You know what I mean? Do things your own way, have your own flex, right? Even if people have an inklings, people, everybody feels energy. I've seen people who had an inkling that I was going to do something, or they had very, very vague details about something that I was going to do, or perhaps something I was going to get. And so they get it, but they do it in such an elaborate, outlandish fashion. It's kind of like, how did you think of this? Or how did you take it from point A to point Z? Like I've seen people like they may know a little bit of something that you're trying to do. Like, for example, you may have told somebody that, hey, this is what I'm trying to aim for, but it's kind of like a loose plan, or it's something that's still under wraps, or it's something that you're still really trying to build. It's not complete at all. And then they come out like a month later with the same concept that you had in mind, but it's so overboard. It's so overdone. It's kind of like, how long have you been mulling over this? How long have you been planning this? Like these individuals, they'll copy you more, put more work in copying you than working on themselves. It is eerie. It is strange. The secret competition, and they'll do it. You will see it one day, just in your face. Like, where are you coming from with this? Like, why do I feel as though you're trying to one up me, or why do I feel the vibe that you're a hater, or that you're trying to beat me to it? Like, I'm not playing that game with you, so why are you doing that to me? Why is this even happening? It feels so juvenile, for real. Like that's how it feels. It feels just kind of, it's beneath a lot of us, to entertain these kinds of games, because everybody has their own identity. And this is the problem as well. When people start competing with you secretly, trying to beat you to it, or trying to be you, or trying to be you better than you can, which is ridiculous. It's kind of like, it's an identity crisis for themselves, really. There's no homage here. It's simply them wanting to emulate your spirit, and then to make it seem like your concepts, or your visions, or your dreams, or maybe what you've shared with them came from their minds, and they know that's not true. They know that it came from you. And it's kind of diabolical, because then they're going to start going out in society, even like deceiving people about who really created something, who really thought of something. Oh, I did that. And then it's like you get overshadowed sometimes, because people think that you didn't, that you couldn't really do something like that. You couldn't be that great, but it came from you. It's really crazy. It's crazy. Secret competition is fraught with issues. It's very, very, very problematic. Because, and I think I was trying to make a point earlier, it's like when there's secret competition, there's no growth amongst these groups of people. There's no respect. There's no, the zest, the love that you have for what you do gets watered down when somebody from the outside is just trying to copy what you do, but they're not trying to copy what you do for the love of it, right? They're trying to copy what you do because you do it, because it's you. You're the one that's doing it. They don't want you to be the one that's doing it and getting the praise for it. They want to be able to say they did that and get the praise for it. And to you, it's kind of like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Oh, well, sucks. Secret competition, people start hating on you randomly, start turning on you randomly, trying to imagine somebody in your life trying to knock your style down to every deep degree of your life. Imagine somebody around you, right? Who the only reason why they're around you is to mimic you, or the only reason why they're around you is to lurk on your life to see how they can beat you to it, right? And so whatever they mimic you on, or whatever they're competing with you on, it's not like they're doing it to be real. It's not like they're doing it because they care. They're doing it because they want to get the praise and the admiration that they know you receive. So you could tell who's real, who's not, right? But unfortunately, as well, a lot of people are easily deceived by who the originator really is, right? So much deception when it comes to one-sided competition, and even our closest people around us could deceive us to the ends. You probably have been shocked to see how a lot of your own folks will just right under your nose start competing with you. And it's probably like, what are you getting out of trying to be me? Like, you're not out here trying to be them or trying to be somebody that you're not. The only person you know how to be is yourself. And that's why you shine, because you have mastered yourself. You know who you are. It's so much harder to try to be like somebody else. It's so much harder trying to compete, because it's going to come a point where you can't compete no longer. And that's the problem, with competition, that I find that when you start competing with somebody and you make that your main goal, eventually you're going to come to a fork in the road where you can no longer compete, because there's something that other person has that you cannot replicate or that you cannot match. Being that spirit, one of the main things is that spirit that these individuals cannot master. They may see that you're aiming for a promotion, or that you got promoted, or I've seen this, people trying to compete for education. It's very strange, but I've personally seen that in my own life with people that I know that go to college or go to university. They hear that you're in a certain program, so they go into that program because they believe that you're going to be successful, so they want to show they can be successful in that same field or in that same program, but they don't finish it, or they don't complete it, or they give up very quickly because their heart wasn't in it. They weren't doing it. They weren't pursuing it for the correct reasons. They were simply doing that to get clout or to get admiration, because that's what they truly believed that you were going to get had you pursued it, or if you were pursuing it. And they were seeing the signs that you were getting blessed, and they want to be able to get blessed by competing with you, trying to beat you to it. So I've seen it, school wise, education wise, work wise. Oh my gosh. Like, especially with the workplace, I think that competition is so, so strong, in many fields, the medical field, all right, the legal field, retail, um, any field that we could think of out here, any industry, anywhere you work, there's competition, because people have their egos that need to be fed, right? And so a lot of people will go into certain industries just to compete, just to look good, right? Not to do, acts of kindness or acts of service, but to look good and to appear powerful and popular and to be respected, especially, when it comes to the legal field, or the field of law, right? Uh, Cops, people who kind of just get into certain fields to be respected, instead of just doing your job, right? And just keeping it on that. And, so it can get a little crazy. A lot of these industries have individuals who are not happy in life, really. Anybody can go sit behind a desk and write any exam, write any test, get any badge, get any credential, and then go out in the field, and they're not really doing it for the right reasons. You've probably seen in your field, there's a lot of competition. We're talking about doctors, we're talking about nurses, these individuals. They're supposed to be taking care of the sick people, sick people, people who need help. And instead, you hear this drama on the ward. You hear the bickering, fighting, snickering at the lunch, at the cafeteria. It's like, what's going on here? Why is there competition? Why can't people just do what they're supposed to do? You're a good doctor. You're a good doctor. You guys are different doctors, different approaches, different cadences. Just do what you guys do. And unfortunately, that's just not how it is. Secret competition, you'd be surprised who gets jealous, who gets envious, and for what reasons. And I believe that people who secretly compete with you, they get very envious because of how you move with what you do. So if you are a professional out there working in your field, it could be a highly saturated field as well. It doesn't have to be something unique. You could very well be a nurse, be a doctor, be a mechanic. You could be a chef. You could be doing big things. You could be an entrepreneur. But it's the way that you go about it, right? There's this enticement that people feel, and equally they feel that jealousy. They feel enticed because they see that you do things a little bit differently. You have a different approach, or maybe the way that you talk to people is a little bit different. Maybe the way that you handle your clients is different. Maybe the way that you service the community is just, it greatly varies from other individuals in that same field. There's something attractive and different and mysterious about how you move, and people become so enthralled by it, but they start becoming very hateful of it. Then they want to knock you out of the competition because they know that you're onto something great. They know that you're onto something. They know that even if a lot of people around you are doing what you do, it's the way that you go about it. They want to make it seem like there's something wrong with you and the way you do things. And you're going to see that too, where you're very sure of yourself, you're very sure of your skills, talents, and abilities. But people around you are going to try to compete with you secretly to try to make you look bad, or to make you look incompetent, and to make you look maybe weak or inexperienced, when they know darn well that you're the top dog here, right? That's why they do what they do. That's why they go after you so hard, because they see the potential. They see that it's there. They see that you shine. They see that you're going to get more in life because you're different, because you were meant to, because you're the one that is essentially here to show people that things can be done in a different way. Things can be done in a more real way. You can be different, maybe be unique, and still be at the top of your game. Because being unique, being different, normally has negative connotations attached. When you're out here doing your own thing and loving what you do, and happy when you wake up, happy when you go to sleep, and you shine bright in these ways. And it's like, it's sad to say, but sometimes these are unique things now. When you're happy in life and when you're doing well, people start competing where they just don't compare. You can be in a romantic union, you could be married, you could be single, you could be happy. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a single person and people try to make you feel bad because they have a man now or they have a girl now in their life on their hip. It's like, but you don't care because the position that you're in is favorable to you, but they don't see it like that. They see it like, oh, you're lacking, so let me try to make them feel bad. Let me try to compete. Maybe I think that's what they want, so I'm going to get it before they do. But little do they know, you're not in no type of rush. You don't move like that. You don't have to rush, because that's just faking the funk, right? And you don't participate in things like that. You don't have to do these kinds of tit for tat games. So this is why a lot of people, you're going to see them try to compete with the worldly things, with love, romance, jobs, families will start competing with you secretly, doing things that you never heard of, doing things. You'll be shocked to see that these individuals the whole time have been copying your flexes down to a T. Sometimes they'll even try to like hide it specifically from you. Like, it's kind of weird, but it's like sometimes people don't want to even show themselves to you because they know that they've been knocking your style or they've been copying you, and you'd probably take heed to that immediately, right? So, these individuals with the secret competition, I find it to be a little bit disturbing. I find it to be unnerving, because the only person someone should aim to be is themselves, right? And if you don't want to be yourself, or if you feel as though you don't like yourself, or you feel like you're not satisfied in life, well, you have to find something about life that's worth living. You have to find something about your life that is unique, a unique marker, something that sets you apart from the rest. That's what a lot of us have done. We have taken note a long time ago what sets us apart from the rest, and we have been growing on that ever since. But some individuals, they see like they need a shortcut. They don't want to do all that. They don't want to have to do that work, do that healing, do that soul searching. They see that you figured it out, so they kind of want to bite your style, you know what I mean? Like, chomp down real hard, to where eventually it's going to become crystal clear these individuals, without a doubt, are in a secret competition, one-sided competition with you. And competition can go far, You know, competition can get very, very, very strange vibes. As the point I was making earlier, people will just start turning on you, you know, like they'll bite your style and then switch, you know, and I find it to be very disrespectful, but that's just what some people will do. You know, like when they see that you're onto something great, they will literally copy you and act like you don't exist, you know, because they probably do feel a little bit of guilt about trying to be you, or taking your idea, taking your vision and fashioning it to themselves, or, you know, pretending outwardly that they thought of that, you know. It's very bizarre, very bizarre. I find it creepy. And I don't think that competition is really a good thing at all. I think that competition destroys connections. It destroys the potential blossoming of various unions, because instead of people respecting you for what you can do, they don't respect you for what you're capable of putting together. They want to take it for themselves. They want to compete every time you come around. They're like scanning you up and down, trying to see what they can cop next, right? To kind of like stay up to date with what you have going on. So it feels like these connections can feel very fake. These connections can feel very watered down and very uncomfortable, because it seems that the only time they really want to be around, or their only motivation for being around, is to watch you so they can copy you and secretly compete, see which stage you're at now in life, and then try to like beat you to it, and then try to like say ha ha, laugh in your face, and then sometimes even like ghost you after they do it. It gets pretty low. India says they can never keep up with us. Yep. Hey Perry, hope you're doing well. Ethereal Seer says carbon copies are not original. Right. Leave No Trace says they try to get into your head to know what you're doing, to know what you're doing next, so they could do it first. Oh, absolutely. You know, I've seen people, it's very creepy. Like I've seen people come around me. They are having a completely normal conversation with me. Normal, what I would deem as normal at the time. And then they turn around and they do something really shady that I feel is reminiscent of some kind of mimic, right? Some sort of mimicking behavior, competition. People will just call me up and be like, hey, guess what I got? You know? And it's like, I don't understand. Like, why do I need to, why are you coming out of the blue with this information? But they know that I had that first, or they know I did that first, or I'm pursuing that already, you know? Say, oh, guess what I did? I signed up for this. And they know that just like 3 days ago, you signed up for the same thing. They don't ask you questions about it. They don't inquire. They sometimes they will, but when I'm talking about the secret competition, like these individuals will very much keep things under wraps, keep details under wraps, and play in our faces, you know? And they'll just watch how you live life, and then they come back like they didn't do nothing, like they're just doing what they originally always had planned. But we know it was not an original plan, because we know it was our original plan, and we know that they're around us all the time, and they could have only been inspired by what we were doing at that time, which would have enticed them, because what's the chances, right, that it would have originated from somewhere else. It can be very interesting, one-sided competition. People around me, I've seen it, people coming around me, they ask a few questions. It seems like a normal conversation. And then when I turn around, this individual is trying to one up me or trying to copy me. And it's not even like I care about the competition itself. It's just, why are you moving like that? Like, what are you getting from this circumstance? Like, I'm not going to dislike you because you're not in a certain stage in your life. I'm not going to dislike you if you don't fully know yourself. Like, I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to judge you if you don't know what you want to do, but don't take it from me. You know what I mean? This is mine, right? Like, this is mine, right? This is my original thought. This is what I'm trying to do, right? It's too close to home a lot of the times, right? Where all you're trying to do is just do what you want to do. And individuals do not respect the work, the dedication that you probably put forth in whatever it is that you have now. And so they start copying it like it means nothing, like it has no weight or it holds no weight, but it holds a lot of weight because it means a lot to you. And these individuals just start copying you for the clout or for the materialistic reasons and not for what they really want to do, right? So the secret competition is very problematic, very, very problematic. And it can destroy unions once again. And it could turn people into haters. It can make people, really loathe you. And it's very strange. It's like a hate love thing where they love what you're doing enough to copy it, but they hate that you're doing it in the first place. They hate that you're the one that it really came from. So it's almost like to save face, but it doesn't make sense because saving face from what? Like, why are you creating this? Why did you create this? Why did you make this into something that it shouldn't have been? Right? So competition can make people lose their minds, right? People seeing that you're living a certain type of way, living a certain type of life, and they want that for themselves. They can't sit still. They can't rest until they have what you've got, until they get the admiration that you get, until they get the praise, until they're just like you. They can't rest. And it's almost unbeknownst to us. A lot of the times we don't even see it. We don't even see it right away. It's something that simmers over time. And when we see it in its full extent, we're pretty taken aback. Like, what are you getting from this? I don't hate you for who you are. Like, you are who you are. These are people that we know a lot of the times, right? People who we maybe work in close quarters with, family, neighbors. Oh, you got one type of whip, they want to get a whip that's better than yours. And you could tell that it's a competition with you because before you had what you had, it didn't seem like they cared, right? So you will see signs and synchronicities that there is this competition that they're trying to create, but you're not playing the same game back. You don't play tit for tat. You're in your own lane doing your own thing. You know what you've got, you know what you're made of. Why compete? But these individuals, they don't think highly of themselves, and they're also not as confident as you are in yourself. So that's why they will literally just take what you've got, copy what you've got, or get what you get. They know you got it. They're going to go and get it because you got it, not because they saw it first or they thought of it first. They see that you're doing it, so they want to do it. And that's the only motivation. It's because you're doing it. You, like, you're the common denominator. It's what you do, right? Jealous because you are doing it. Envious, hateful because it's you. If it was anybody else, Tom, Dick, and Harry could slide. But because it's you specifically, you keep hitting all the goals, all the targets, you keep winning. It's like individuals really feel the desire to fashion themselves to you, to garner that respect that they know that you get. But to what end, right? You got to do your own thing. You gotta do you, right? And you got to love who you are enough to realize that competition is fruitless. It brings nothing, right? But more misery, a mental misery, right? And you got to love what you do and and learn more about yourself so that you don't feel the need or the desire to compete with the next man or the next woman. Oh, he has more biceps, man. I feel like I'm a nobody now. Oh, I gotta pump the iron because I see him pumping the iron and he gets more ladies than I do, and it's not fair. These individuals are not doing things for the right reasons. And I've seen this. This stuff happens. This is crazy. Crazy stuff. Competition for money. Money is always a problem. For people, money is a problem, an issue. This is one of the biggest reasons why people will compete is for money, right? Money. We see it all around. We see money competitions, right? A lot of the shows on TV, are like money based, right? What, you got to do a certain set of things to get money, right? And if you don't perform, then you're going to be broke, which is obviously inaccurate, but that's what they pump to us, right? But on a more smaller scale, more intimate scale, people around us, our family members will compete for money. They'll compete. They see you doing your own thing. Oh man, I got to do that too. And it's not about the fact that it could be you're getting rich or that you're balling. It's not even that mindset. It's more of, oh, that's what he's doing for money. Like that's how he moves. That's what he gets, or he has his own business. That's how he makes his money. I want to get my own business. I want to be able to create wealth from building my own business, but I want to do exactly what he's doing, or I want to do it the way she's doing it. Because I see that when she does this type of business, when she decided to do that, she's getting a lot of wealth. Let me copy the same business because I can do that, and then I'll be like her. It's like, come on. People will compete for money. They'll compete for, fame, for being people who are well known. And the crazy thing about it is that you don't try to be that person that they're trying to be. Like what you're doing in your life right now could be bringing you a lot of attention, right? Could be putting the spotlight on you, but you're not trying to let that happen. But these haters see that you are getting popular, right? So they're thinking to themselves, hey, let me try to beat them to it and do what they do. And I'm going to be the one that's looked at in a high regard. And I'm going to be more popular than they are. But little do they know, you don't care about being popular. So it's like, to what end are they doing this? To what end? What are they hoping for? What is the conclusion here, right? A lot of these individuals, in their mind, they think they're going to make you feel bad, or they think that they're going to make you look bad. But you don't care about, the looks of it. They can't make you feel bad about what you are doing, what came from you, right? These individuals, a lot of times, they have to talk themselves into it. They gotta really talk themselves up. They don't just do. They've been lurking for quite some time, like even wondering if they should, right? Because they know that what they're about to do, it's going to be obvious it didn't come from them. So these individuals try to make it seem like a natural thing that occurred, but it's not. We know, we're highly perceptive. We know when somebody is directly trying to compete with what we have going on. There are signs of this, right? Competition is absolutely fruitless. It's not like the competition that's brazen, that's like two-sided, every consensual. It's not like that. This is a competition where you're minding your business, you're doing your own thing, you're staying out of the way, you don't trouble nobody, you're focused on your own prizes, your own path, your own goals, your own ambitions, and you're not thinking twice about it. You're just doing your own thing, trekking down your path. And then there are people alongside your path who are saying, oh man, like I gotta do what he's doing. I gotta do that before he gets to the finish line of that. I gotta do it in a way where it seems like it came from me. I gotta do it better than him. I have to. Because if I do it better than he does, I'm gonna be the one that seems like I'm the brilliant one. I'm the smart one. I'm the one that thought of that. But little do they know, this competition is going to lead them to a dead end. They do not have that spirit intact. They're not you. These individuals, a lot of times, I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to say it, delusional. Deeply, deeply delusional about who they really are and who you are. They start twisting the roles and they start making it seem like you're not who you say you are, but they are you. It's like, you better than anybody else, right? These individuals, they will come around you to watch your life, to mimic you, to copy you, to fashion themselves to you, and then to make it seem like they did it better than you. But they don't understand. You're in your own lane. Like you don't have to try to beat anybody to anything. This is yours. It's been crafted and molded for you. So how is there a competition? Why is it one-sided? Why are they trying so hard to knock you out of the competition? And a lot of these individuals, and I've spoken about this on previous live streams and videos, some of these individuals are already up here. They're already doing exceptionally well. But then when they see you come into the mix, they have this burning desire to start competing with you for what they see that you're aiming for, but they're esteemed, they're good. So why are they trying so hard to knock you out of the competition? Aren't they happy? Aren't they good? Aren't they okay? A lot of them are not okay. They are not okay. They are not well. They're lacking and there's something deeper beneath the surface that is drying up, in a drought. Happiness, peace, confidence they lack. And confidence is often misconstrued with arrogance. A lot of these individuals, when they start secretly competing with you, they're very pompous, they're very proper, they go overboard. It doesn't make sense. It's like they're trying to outdo you, but it's so outlandish. You would have never done that. You would have never been like that. You don't move this way. It's almost like somebody who is an impersonator, right? Somebody who is a mimic, somebody who believes that in order to be you, they got to do it a little bit better. They got to do it with a little bit more flair. But this is not who you are. You would not have done it like that. You would not have went about it that way. So once again, there's a delusional obsessive factor here with a lot of people who are secretly competing with you, believing that they'll outshine you at your own game. You're in your own lane that they have no participation in. So how can they be better than you when you have your eyes on the prize, when it's been crafted for you? It's not possible. They don't have your spirit. They'll try to pretend to be you, but that spirit cannot be mimicked, Yep. Ethereal says they are blinded to my identity. Right. India says, I've seen people even try to walk like me. Right. Right. And once again, it gets a little bit creepy. It's very unnerving when you start seeing people trying to mimic your gait. Right. Like, come on. Right. But this is how some people are. And you could tell they're very obsessed. I mean, what's the word without being offensive? How bored, I'm just going to say a very dry word. How bored can you be to copy somebody so much so that you're trying to match their gait? You know what I mean? Or it's like these, what we think is very insignificant because we just do it all the time. It's something that's in our subconscious. We're not even thinking about what we're doing sometimes, but people have been watching it very closely and they're coming around and, trying to stand up like you, talk like you, use the same words that you would use, say certain things that they know you say and nobody else really says, or just your cadence, the way that you project your voice, or the way that you, demand respect in a room. Like they try to like mimic your aura and they can't do it. They cannot do it. They will try. And that's how you have these people bent out of shape, for sure. You have people bent out of shape, watching you that closely that they're trying to emulate your entire existence, and it's not going to work. When it comes down to the spirit, that's where they falter every single time. They really do. So secret competition is very unnecessary. It is something that is manufactured by usually jealous people. Right? Because I mean, if they weren't jealous, why are they trying so hard to beat you to it? They're obviously intimidated by something that you're doing or just by you in general, to where they feel like the only way to kind of like regain control and to be more emotionally stable or to be somebody is to be you. Right? So it's strange for sure. Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. Yeah, Legendary Tony says they hate when we don't need them for anything. Mm-hmm. And and the thing about it too is that, when you're independent, or perhaps the way that you go about life, living life is unique, and you don't need any validation out here, you're going to trigger a lot of people. You're going to get a lot of people bent because they see that you don't need them nor anybody else to keep you afloat. And you're not just, surviving, you're thriving, you're doing exceptionally well. And this intimidates people. Sometimes it is your independence that people are after. Sometimes people are very dependent and they see that you're not. They try to compete with that. I've seen that too. It's very weird, where somebody is codependent so severely that you're wondering when are they ever going to get out of that situation. And then because they see that you're independently getting your life together, like you're doing well by yourself, they'll try to copy that. They'll try to copy and make it seem like they're independent or they've got it all figured out, but they are controlled. They are puppets for other people. They don't have their own flexes. They do not have their own way of doing things. The only thing they know how to do is take orders or to copy somebody else. They don't know, but then they'll pretend. They'll certainly pretend to be independent and have their own thing going on. But what they're really doing is using somebody else and playing a part, playing a role. For sure, it can happen. Yep. Right. Doris says because they like to look successful. Right. Keys of David, nice to see you. You said, yes, I focus on running my own race. For sure. Ethereal says, my neighbor don't realize my idea came directly from source and they want to just take my idea, even ask if it was copyrighted. Yeah, sometimes your stuff is so unique. Sometimes your concepts and visions are so unique. People think that you got it from somewhere else, people will actually believe that it's just up for grabs. Like whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're aiming for, it's just up for grabs. It's for everybody. It's for anybody. This is unique for you. Your path is unique. Sometimes because a lot of you guys, I'm sure almost all of you guys here are brilliant minded people who, your minds ever so often get flooded with really, really, really awesome concepts, ideas, visions, dreams, and creative ideas that come to your mind that you end up acting on. And when you act on them, they seem so surreal that individuals just cannot believe that you could have thought of a concept like that. And they don't want you to be recognized for that. So they want to beat you to it to make it seem like they had thought of that first, even though they were literally, they may have heard it from your own mouth. They knew it came from you, right? It could be like that for sure. Yep. Yeah, Authentic says this stuff is actually comedy though. Right. Right. Yep. And competition. What I notice about competition, especially one-sided competition, these people are stalkers. Stalkers, like absolute stalkers. These people will watch you, right? Down to what you don't think that they would care about, right? They watch you so closely. They've almost like rehearsed, not rehearsed. That's not the word. They've memorized a lot of things about you, a lot of attributes that you might have, to the point where it's subconscious to us, but to them, it's at the forefront. It's the driving force. It's what they needed to know to beat you at your own game, And then they'll let these little things slip out of their mouths when they're around you, or little things that they do which make you feel like they've been watching you. Or they'll ask people about you to see what you've been up to, and then they'll try to like throw it in your face, like information that is attached to you, but it's like they're trying to compete with what they found out about you, but you didn't know that they cared about that, if that makes any sense. Like you could be posting things on your social media that you're just, it's very innocent, a picture of yourself somewhere, you're posting a picture, you post it, you move on. But these delusional people, when they're stalking you and obsessed over you, and they want to beat you to it, and they want to beat you at your own game, like they take very specific notice of where you would go and how you got there and the airline you chose, because they want to make sure they get it all down pat. They're going through the motions. It's almost like a movie where these individuals have to like get all the lines right, get all the steps right, memorize it down to a T, so they can say that they did that first. They can turn around and make it seem like, nah, they went to Turks and Caicos first. They did that for, it gets really crazy. These individuals are stalkers. All the people that I know who have, in one way or another, have had a one-sided secret competition that came to light, a lot of them gave themselves away because they were able to find out information or see information about me that I would have posted online, or I would have, shared publicly. And it's something that they saw as fuel to what their initiative ended up being, which was trying to beat me to it. These individuals, they think that they're being clever, but oftentimes they do give themselves away. A lot of times what they do is they just sit around on a computer, on a phone, on a tablet, and they're kind of like scanning your life with the internet, right? And trying to see what you're going to do next, trying to see where you're at next, who you're with, what are you and your boyfriend doing, you and your girlfriend, whatever the case might be, you and your wife, husband, trying to see like what you guys are doing next. So maybe them and their husband can do it, or you know what I mean? Like they try to make your life their life and make it seem like that came from them. That's something that's a tip that they were always on, but you know that's not true. You know that's not the case. It could be like that. Definitely. So, when it comes to competition, be wary of individuals who you find or who you have a clue or inkling that this is why they're around you. This is why they come around you. This is why they ask you questions. This is why they hail you up. Individuals that seem to only be around you to watch you, to lurk, to stalk on your life. These people need to find themselves, and they have recourse here. There are things that they could certainly do to get themselves back on track to where they don't have to feel the way that they feel, which is obviously inadequacy to some degree. They feel inadequate to where they have to copy somebody else. They got to compete with somebody else. They know you've got yourself figured out. So they need to, instead of working on themselves, which they feel is too tedious, it's just easier to compete with you and to kind of like knock your style a little bit, take your ideas and kind of like craft it to themselves and to make it seem like they thought of it. Everything that you do, they want to do it better than you. Everything that you get, they want to up it a little bit higher and like gloat in it. There's no humbleness here. You know what I mean? You will see there's no humbleness. There's none of that. There's no homage. There's no respect to what you thought of or to what you created. It's kind of like, I'm just going to take your style and I'm going to walk with it like I did that, like I thought of that, right? So there's no respect here when these individuals are around you. You're going to try to talk to these folks. You're going to see that there's no talking. There's nothing amicable here. What happens is when you're doing your best, when you're doing the best that you can, people are trying to find their best way to beat you to it. Like they're not seeing that your efforts should be respected. They're not wanting you to get the accolades that they know that you're going to receive from you being unique, you being different. They kind of see it like, you know what? I know what he's going to come into, and I want that. I don't want him to be seen as the one that is the originator or is the OG. I don't want it to be him. It has to be me because I don't know myself. So I gotta, cop his style. And if I cop his style, I'm going to be able to deceive people that I'm that way and they're nothing. Like they don't want you to be seen in any kind of high regard. They want you to be sometimes even disregarded, right? Like completely overlooked, to be made to feel insignificant, inexperienced, right? And to be made to feel that you have no clue about what you're doing, even though you're the one that thought of it, right? So it's a little bit murky. It can get murky. It can get a little bit shady. So be wary of individuals who are trying to have a one-sided competition with you, all right? Because it's a little bit strange. It's very strange, actually. It's very strange vibes. All right, everybody. So competition for me, it's not my thing. For me personally, competition, it just ruins things. It makes people think that, once again, there's no respect for what you're capable of doing. There's no respect for what you produce. There's no respect, there's no love. They will not show you love. They'll show you the cold shoulder. You'll feel that coldness when you're talking to a lot of these people and you're trying to show them what you're capable of. You share little tidbits of your life and then they take it and run with it. You know, like it's going to come across as very disrespectful, and it's going to come across as fake, because it's like, why are you around me then? Like, if you are just around me to copy me or to, you know, bite my style, then what are we doing here? Like, where is this going, right? A lot of these individuals have been hating for a very long time, or the hate has been brewing, right, for quite some time, to where they cannot bear to be around you unless they're copying you. Like, some individuals, they do one of two things. They'll copy you and they won't be around you. You'll see it like through the grapevine, or hear it through the grapevine that they're doing something that you had thought of or that you are doing. Or they'll literally come around you only because they did copy you and they feel confident now, or they feel confident to show themselves as who you are, who they are, but it's who you are. And the only reason why they're coming around you or why they're hitting you up is because they are competing with you. They're competing with what they know that you're producing or what you have created, right? So it's wild. It can get wild, for sure. Don't get pulled into the competition. If these individuals want to compete, let them compete. Let them do what they want to do. Let them copy, but everybody's going to know at the end of the day who really thought of that. If you're a real one, and people who are just as real as you, who see these games being played, it's going to be found out. It's going to be very, very obvious who is really the one who it came from, the originator. Who's the one that is humble? Who's the one that's not playing that tit for tat? Who's not feeding into that drama? It's going to be very, very clear to see that it was you all along that was keeping it real, just doing your own thing. And you got people all around you trying to copy you and trying to mimic, trying to floss off your style of what you made, right? It could be really, really wild, for sure. Really, really wild. So I want to say, everybody, thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys for being here. It's all these worldly things that we have to combat, right? You know, all these negative situations that we actively try to dodge, but it seems like it always finds us, you know, these negative happenings, these situations that we don't care to be a part of, right? And these lurkers and stalkers and strange individuals, strange vibes, man. I've been around these people. They don't move right. You know, when you go around them and you're just shining, you shine, right? You shine, rightfully so. But unfortunately, as you shine, somebody wants to take the shine and play it as though they did that, right? And so it feels unjust. It feels strange. And you know, people secretly competing. They're already, you know, they're already in their own spot. They should be focusing on their own lane, but I guess your lane is just too bright, and they don't want you to have they don't want you to shine like that. They don't want you to be recognized for the way that you do shine, right? Individuals do not want you to be recognized. They don't want to some people just do not want you to be a success story. You know, some people do not want to see you make it out of the mud. They want to be the ones that say they made it out of the mud, but little do we know sometimes they're still in that mud. It's just like they're pretending, they're impersonators. That's not really the life they live, but you really live that life though. It's murky, definitely murky. And one-sided competition is always going to be kind of sad, because once again, my whole thing is, to what end? You know what I mean? To what end are you pretending to be me? Or to what end are you hoping to flex on you know, what I have? Like, you know, trying to copy what I have, trying to beat me to it. I don't care to beat you to it. I don't care to, you know, to copy you, take what you've got and run with it. I don't care to do any of that stuff. I do what comes to my mind, you know? But a lot of them do not do what comes to their minds. They've got to take you out. They have to take you out because they can't stand seeing you shine, you know? Competition for what? I've seen people compete for food. Like for food, like, you know, like I've seen people like act weird, very, very, very strange. Like, you know, you're just trying to eat a meal. You're just trying to, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds weird, but I've seen people compete over the strangest things that it's kind of like, how did they think of this? You know, why are they thinking that I care about this? Why are they doing this? You know? And you know, they're specifically doing it, aiming their target at you. But for whatever reason, like it's not very concise. It's not really making sense. Like, why do they care about if, you know, it's strange. Like they'll compete with you for things that you don't do or you don't care about or you don't put as a priority. It's their priority. It's like who they want to be. It's like people who are like halfway confident, but not fully sure. They'll compete with you. Like they'll see that you don't care about something, but they'll like, it's just strange. Very, very strange, you know? Like I've seen people compete for things that I would have never cared about, but clearly they want me to care. You know, like clearly they want to prove something to me about what about what they're competing for. Sometimes people will compete with you for something that you're not even doing or for something that you don't care about, something that trying to make you jealous, trying to make you feel some type of way, but that's not even your thing. And even if it was your thing, you wouldn't care because you do you. Right? So these individuals are very superficial, misguided, and delusional sometimes. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you could tell that they are, you know, they're not really happy inside. You know, these individuals may have accolades and once again be esteemed, be very accomplished individuals, and still they're sad. You know, still they feel disdain. They feel a bitterness, right, towards people around them who are just doing their own thing. People who are original. There's an envy there. You know, there's an envy there. There's a deep loathing there. There's something off about the way that they move. You know, when they see that you're actually happy and you're getting a lot from what you know how to do, from things from that came from your own mind, they got to beat you to it to make you seem like you're not significant, but they know that you're very significant. Your name holds a lot of weight. They know, but they have to like water that down to make themselves feel better. But you would never have cared because you're too focused, right? So once again, it's like, to what end? You're not like everybody else. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, he's doing that. Okay, I'm gonna do like, you don't move like that, right? Like that's what they want. It's like they're beckoning you to join on the competition. Like, hey, see what Cindy's doing? Oh, I see what Cindy's doing. I'm gonna do it better than Cindy, and then Cindy's gonna try to do it better than you, and back and forth, back and forth. Like you don't play these games, right? It's just really, really, really frustrating sometimes when you see this stuff. Once again, it just ruins connections. That's all it does. It ruins connections from blossoming because people don't want to be around you for the real reasons. They don't want to really be around you because they like you like that. They want to be around you to copy you, to compete with you, because you give them some sort of identity or something to look forward to, something or someone they could be. But in order to be like that, they'd have to study you. And in order to study you, they have to have insight on you. And in order to have insight, they'd have to be around you. They'd have to get intel on you. So it's like, is this even a real connection? Is this real? Is that really my folks? And it really starts making you wonder, like, what is this? What is this connection? You know, why does it always feel like every time I'm trying to go higher in life, people try to knock me down and try to copy me or trying to take my flex? Can't I have what I have and they have what they have? Like, isn't there enough space for everybody to go up? Of course, we know that. We know, but they don't see it like that. They see it like you're too great, got to scrub the shine, got to take it, trying to make you dull. try to make you feel like you're not gonna shine like that. They gotta, they want you to be glossed over, for sure. So one-sided competition, terrible, fruitless, pointless. A lot of these individuals are wayward. A lot of these individuals are problematic, very problematic individuals that don't have their own flex. They do not have their own way of doing things. They do not know who they are. So they try to like bum off of us, and then kind of like spit on us at the same time and be like, oh, sucks to be you, like they have this attitude like sucks to be you, but they copied you, right? It's like, oh, I beat you to it. Sucks to be you. You're behind. Oh, sucks to be you. But little do they, they don't understand that you're way ahead, right? You're way ahead because you're deeper in your mind. You don't do competition. Right? Competition does not bring you prosperity. It brings you back to your original spot where you're almost like you've been reset and you got to start all over again because you got to do you. You can't traverse through life trying to be somebody else. You got to do you. You will be reset right back to the same spot. That's just my opinion. That when you try to copy other people, try to compete with other people, trying to trying to emulate somebody else to the point where, there's a malicious intent. There's a selfish intent. The reason that you're doing it, it's not for good purposes. You're going to be brought back to your same humble spot. And your humble spot is not a bad spot. It is a spot where you can prosper and you can be great if you be you, right? I mean, if you're not going to be you, you're just going to find yourself in that same spot until you expand on you, right? You got to be you all the time. You got to be you. You got to love you, right? And one-sided competition, secret competition, this stuff goes nowhere fast. You will just find yourself in the same spot where unless you change things, you're always going to be feeling unhappy and unfulfilled, right? There's so much to life, so much more you can be getting when you're just doing you. But when you're trying to be like somebody else, trying to compete with somebody else, and these individuals don't even care about that, you're just doing a disservice to yourself because you're messing your mind up. You know what I mean? You got to do your own thing, live your own life freely to your terms, right? And that's when you will feel the highest level of fulfillment. That is when you will feel satisfied, satiated, and, accomplished. Because you're doing you, because you love life, and you see yourself as an individual, not an extension of another man or another woman. You're just you. Secret competition comes from people who don't know who they are, and they have not recognized, or if they've been having signs, they've not taken them seriously. They're pushing them away because it's too hard or it's too emotional. And they start copying people or competing with people thinking that that's the easiest way, but they're going to find themselves in the same spot, just as easy, just as quick. Sometimes in life, there are no shortcuts. I don't believe there's shortcuts to greatness. When you're trying to be great, there's going to be hard times. It's going to be rough. It's going to be trying. It's going to be struggle. There's going to be lack. There's going to be down times. The climb to greatness isn't cookie cutter, it is not like peaches and rainbows and lollipops. When you're trying to grind, trying to go to the top, it's going to be one heck of a ride. You know what I mean? And with that ride, you just got to hold on tight and try to just see the beauty in everything that comes at you. But you got to be original. You got to be you. No competition. There's no place for that where we're trying to be. Because when you're trying to be like somebody else or beat somebody else to it, you lose sight of your own goals. You lose sight of your own vision, your own dreams, because you're obsessed with somebody else's visions and dreams and who they're going to be, how respected they're going to be. You've lost sight of yourself. You can't let that happen. You cannot sleep on yourself. You cannot lose sight of what you're aiming for because you see somebody else going higher. because you can go higher too. Anybody can go up if they know who they are, if they love themselves, and if they decide to stay original, right? But, people will know who the copy is. People will know who's real, who's not. Even people who want to pretend like they don't know what's real, they know what's real. Individuals have dumbed themselves down to such a severe degree that even when they know what's real, they decide to turn a blind eye to it. They don't want to accept because they're just too deep into the game. So they'd rather just play that role, play that part, copy, compete, gotta do it, but they know it's wrong. They know it's fruitless. They know. But some people will know a lot of things and they'll do nothing with it. And then they see you know a lot of things and you do something with it and they try to take it from you. We don't have no time for that. We do not have time for that. We need to go higher. We need to keep aiming for up, because these are the heights that we're supposed to be at. This is what we're supposed to be doing. But I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys tonight on this Friday night with this concept of secret competitions and how ridiculous they are, right? How absolutely fruitless they are. Brings us nothing, right? But broken, withered connections, lost cousins and neighbors that don't look in your eyes no more. It's just, that's the result. All because these individuals could not stand to see you getting the glory in your own path. This is your path. What else are you supposed to get? You know what I mean? This is your path. You do the work, you're going to get the blessings in your path. These individuals alongside your path, though, it's like they can't have that. But this is your path. It's reserved for you. So why are they so concerned about what's reserved for you? What's your name stamped on it? They got to focus on their own path. They'd probably be very surprised at what they themselves could produce and how far they themselves could go if they only just shifted their focus even slightly, and they would see there's enough space for everybody to go up. So competition is a no-no for me. When I feel those vibes, I boogie. I don't have time for stuff like that, because I know everybody around me is an individual, even if they're very confused, even if they are unfulfilled or not really making any types of moves. I'm very conscious, very aware that everybody around me is an individual, regardless if they know who they are or not. It's up to them with themselves on their own path to find out. And it's not my job to entertain stupidity and trying to go up in life, somebody else trying to drag me down. To me, that's just stupidity, because I'm too focused on what I'm trying to do. And when I'm focused, good things come out of it. When we are focused, good things come out, and so we got to stay on that path, stay on that high vibrating path, and don't listen to the naysayers. Oftentimes they're sitting from a couch telling you can't go up. I've noticed that. I'm going on a tangent here, but I've noticed that, right? People trying to tell me, trying to tell you, oh, you can't do that. Only I can do that, and they do it from 9 to 5 or do it from 8 to 3. And then they don't care anymore because they've been copying somebody else. You keep doing it for the love. Do what you do for the love, and ignore that competition that you see creeping up, or what you've been seeing formulating in your life, because I guarantee you got places to be, you got things to do, you got things to create, right? You got love to share, intelligence. You're a solid-minded person, and you got to keep sharing your gifts and talents with the world, because the accolades that people are so threatened by you getting, you're going to get anyway. So, tough if they thought that they were going to siphon that and, wear your skin. It's not possible, because the spirit, they don't have that. They don't have your spirit, So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching the stream and for being here, rocking with me for this Friday. December is among us, really crazy. We're closing out November 2024. And 2024 has been pretty shaky year, crazy year, but still a lovely year, because, well, for one, I had my son born in February. So that was definitely the highlight of this year. and just living the best life that I can. That's what you got to do in this world. That's what you got to do in this lifetime, is live the best life you can, no matter what life throws at you. You'd be surprised how many people are so jealous, so deeply, deeply jealous of the simple things, simple elements that encompass your life, the things that people will do to try to impede these things, these simple pleasures in life that are always deeper than what's in your materialistic world, your tangible world. It's always deeper. Please remember, it's always deeper than what it seems, you know? If you have people trying to attack you, trying to get at you, trying to make, trying to stir the pot in your life, as people have been trying to do in mine in 2024, you just smile and wave at these folks. They cannot impede what God has crafted and molded and sculpted to hand to you with your name on it. These individuals have nothing to do, with your success. They can't stop the success. They can't stop your mind from growing. And I also notice, as well, as I close out this stream, a lot of individuals are very intimidated by intelligence, very, very intimidated by what one knows, right? What one knows, and when you're intelligent and when you know a lot, you walk different, you talk different, you hold your head high, you stand out, when you're intelligent, when you know a lot, not when you dress to the nines, because none of that really matters anyway, right? As these people make it think, they make it seem like it's like that. But really, in all actuality, it's what's up here. People are always going to try to come for up here. That's what they want. They don't understand it. They're, very superficial to try to dissect it at first, but deep down, they really know that it's what's encased in your brain, what's in your mind is what they cannot tamper with, which is why they try so hard, because they can't get to it. So always keep your mind clear, keep your mind well intact, keep your mind clear, mentality, high vibrations, you know what I mean? And just love life, love yourself, take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Take care of yourself. No matter what year comes and goes, years go by, but you got to live life to the fullest, and you got to see the beauty in all the lessons that you might have learned in all these years in 2024. I learned a lot of lessons this year, right? And it's like some things never change. So I'm not going to sugarcoat, say, oh yeah, next year, new me. I understand what I learned this year, and I move different from what I've learned. I tweak and I change different things in my world, in my environment. Anything that somebody might deem as a failure, I see it as a lesson, because I'm not perfect. I like to lead, but I like to be taught, right? And I like to learn things, and I like to change, right? So change doesn't worry me. Change doesn't bother me. I like that. I welcome that, because I don't like when things are monotonous. I like things when they shift a little bit in my world, but you can't control people around you. You can advise people. You could try to help people. You could try to show love. Understand not everybody's going to reciprocate it towards you, right? Don't expect you from other people. It's not always like that. And just stay high vibrating and keep living your best life. On the mindset elevator, I'm just going to always keep it real. Even if I just talk a little different, I just let things be. I just let it out. You know what I mean? And I just want to keep it real. Keep open conversations, very candid. I want you guys to know that I really do value your opinions. And, I respect a lot of you guys on your journeys. A lot of you guys have shared, what you've been through. And a lot of things you guys have been through are crazy. But I respect that you guys are still standing here teaching a lot of us what to do, how to be, how to grow, how to learn, right? I do like the feeling of inclusivity and just learning from each other. And thank you guys for giving me a platform. I really appreciate that. And I respect all of you. And I thank you guys for your time, for all the likes, for all the watches, for all the commentary. I thank you guys. And I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to sign off here. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys very, very shortly on the community posts and future videos and future streams. And thank you guys. I love y'all so much. And I'll see you guys soon, okay? So take care. Love life. Enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you guys soon, all right? Bye.